Assalamualaikum and greetings. My name is Adib bin Muhammad and today I will be presenting on my topic measuring Sharia compliance implementation among hoteliers in Klang Valley, Malaysia using the theory of planned behavior. This is the presentation outline. I will go through the introduction, problem statement, literature review, methodology, results and discussion, and also conclusions. For the introduction, the hotel industry increases in the central and reconstructs a city where job opportunities and economic activities occur drastically, whereas Sharia compliance hotel has been one part of the industry where we can see the number of hotel operators following the practice. Malaysia, for instance, has been taking a step to empower the halal tourism industry. According to the Malaysia Islamic Tourism ITC, stated that in 2018, Malaysia welcomed an estimated 5.3 million inbound Muslim tourists. Considering the size and the opportunity lies ahead for halal tourism, all the industry players should take this opportunity and allow the hotels to implement the Sharia principle as an innovation for this tourism market segment. Today, the halal market is not exclusive to Muslims and has gained more recognition among non-Muslim consumers who associate halal with ethical consumerisms. For Muslims, it's no longer merely a religious obligation or observance. Previous studies indicate that at the level of awareness and profit are their biggest concern to follow the requirement of SCH. Until today, there is a lack of research on the acceptance level among the hoteliers on this concept. Drawing from theory of planned behavior, the specific research objectives are threefold. First, to examine the relationship between attitude and Sharia compliance hotel acceptance, to investigate the relationship between subjective norm and also Sharia compliance hotel acceptance, and to examine the relationship between perceived behavior control and Sharia compliance hotel acceptance. Theory of planned behavior is the most appropriate theory to be implemented in this study. So in hospitality, TPB is being used to explain the consumer's decision-making process of visiting green hotels as per Han and Kim in 2010. Apart from that, it's also being used to study on the intention to purchase halal food by Noraza, Rakshmini, and Rahim and Junos. For the literature review, for Sharia Compliance Hotel, the Sharia Compliance Hotel is a hotel that delivers not only halal food and beverage services in accordance with Sharia principle, but also covers the entire hotel business. This definition was supported by Muhammad Rasid Hamia and Mansur that stated Muslim or Islamic hotel is a hotel that provides a Sharia compliance services as a moral code to lay the guideline for Islam's whole life. In For TPB, basically is an extension model of theory of reason action, and it's one of the most research model for social psychologists to predict behavior intention. TPB allows the examination of the influence of personal determinants and social surrounding as well as non-volitional determinants on intention. TPB was developed due to the limitation of the original models in dealing with behaviors that people have incomplete volitional control. In hospitality, TPB is used to explain consumers' decision-making process of visiting green hotels. Apart from that, TPB also being used to study and the intention to purchase halal food product. Okay, now we go through between attitude and intention to accept SCH concept. TPB assumes a behavior attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control are three cognitively independent determinants. The first important factor for behavioral intent is the attitude, which can be described as the extent to which the individual has a favorable or unfavorable assessment or evaluation of the behavior concerned. According to Blackwell, Mina, and Engel in 2006, attitude is the evaluation of performing a particular behavior involving the attitude object, such as buying the product. In addition, it also includes an assessment as to whether the behavior is good or bad. According to Ramaya, Lee, and Muhammad reported that attitude involves perceived behavior consequences. And according to Chen and Tang, the main predictor of behavior intention is attitude and also as a psychological emotion routed through consumers' evaluations and if positive, behavior intention tend to be more positive. For subjective norm and intention to accept SCH, the term subjective norm is defined as a social pressure perceived for performing or not performing the behavior. According to he in 2000, highlighted the influence from close friends, family members, relatives, colleagues, or business partners is a subjective norm that captured a sense of social pressure of an individual for a certain behavior. Prior research by Sukato and Webster stated that friends and family members actually influence the decision making of consumers. This argument is further supported by Muhammad Suki and Abang Saleh in 2016, who have found the most important predictor of the consumer behavior intentions to be subjective norms. For PBC, the term PBC refers to perceived behavior control and uh, and actually reflects a previous experience and expected barriers. According to Chow, Torgerson, Ruan, and Huang, behavior control and motive determines behavior. Many studies show that in several research contexts, such as recycling, PBC is positively linked with the intention. And research also has shown that PBC has an impact on consumers' intention to purchase and repatronize halal food. So, for this study, perhaps PVC has a direct influence for hoteliers to accept the implementation of SCH, as mentioned by the previous scholar, that people's intentions are positively influenced by their self-confidence in their ability to perform the behavior. For the methodology, the study utilized the quantitative research method using a survey questionnaire as a tool for data collection, and then the questionnaire was developed based on TPB, adapted from the studies of Paul, Modi, and Patel, and also Chen and Tang, who had conducted a study in predicting consumers' intention to visit Green Hotel. For the instrument, six questionnaire has been developed based on the previous study that using the same theory as reference, and also to determine the sampling size. This study using Cochrane formulas that allow an ideal sample size given a desired level of precision, confidence level, and also estimated proportion. For this research, the respondents are hoteliers in Klang Valley area. They were categorized according to their star rating hotel and using a cluster sampling technique, which is a staff from the supervisor level and senior managers were selected to participate in this study. For the results, finding from the field survey that has been conducted with a cooperation from participated hotel from April to July 2019 present as below. So for the respondent profile, from the total respondents, 52% are between 20 to 30 years of age. 33% are between 31 and 40 years of age. And also minority is around 41 to 60 years of age. And also the study also found that the majority of the respondents is 52% are female, while 42% are male. And as for religion, the majority of respondents are Muslim with 81%, followed by Buddhists at 9%, 7% are Hindus, and Christians only contributes around 3% to this study sample. Furthermore, in this survey, years of service also considered as an important factors. So based on the findings indicate that majority of the respondents have been in the intensive for about 1 to 5 years, around 33%, followed by those who have been working around 6 to 10 years, around 14%. On average, each respondents work in the hotel industry based on the main result is around 8 years. And also based on the data collected for this study indicates that majority of the respondents are among junior managers, which is at 35%. Next is to study on the level of awareness about SH implementation in Malaysia. To assess the level of awareness, the result has shown that most of our hoteliers are aware about SCH implementation in Malaysia. As we can see, 95.4% of respondents are aware that Malaysia is one of the top leading Muslim tourist destinations, and around 92.6% respondents understand about the Sharia compliance hotel and also aware the needs of the Muslim tourists. Furthermore, around 80% of the respondents are equipped with the information on the attributes of Sharia compliance hotel. Based on the frequency test, majority of hoteliers have high level of awareness about SH implementation in Malaysia. Besides that, most of the hotel operators are starting to target the Muslim market due to the major influx from the Middle Eastern continent. Okay, to evaluate the influence of attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control, based on the result, there's a strong relationship between hoteliers' attitude and their acceptance towards the implementation of Sharia compliance hotel with a positive correlations. So the correlation analysis support that attitude has a direct influence on acceptance of Sharia compliance hotel implementation. Based on this, hoteliers with high positive attitudes appear to have a greater level of acceptance towards the implementation of SEH. Besides that, the result also revealed a significant relationship with a positive correlation between the subjective norms and acceptance towards SEH implementations. So the correlations analysis supports that there is a significant positive relation between the subjective norms and the acceptance of SEH implementation. This means that subjective norms are important in influencing the decision of individuals to accept SEH. Consistent to the research by Kari Jane, who found that subjective norm was a positively and significantly influenced individuals' choice of decision. This is aligned with Jen, who theorized that subjective norms is an individual perception of whether people important to the individual think the behavior should be performed. PBC indicate a medium-strand relationship between acceptance toward SCH implementation with a positive correlations. So the analysis indicates that PBC has a significant value in hoteliers' acceptance toward the SCH implementations. This is because by increasing effort to achieve the goal, control directly affect behavior. As we can see, people PBC refers to people perception of the ease or difficulty performing the behavior of interest. So in line with an emphasis on factors that are directly linked to a particular behavior. As explained above, due to inexperience in working with any SH establishment, the respondent doubt with their own perception whether the behavior in working in SH establishment would be easy or difficult for them. In this study, multiple regression assumes that the sample size is large enough. So to provide an answer to the research question, regression analysis has been conducted and the result as shows above. Based on the result given, it explained on the R square, the result indicate that 66.4% of the variation of SCH implementation acceptance can be explained by the model containing attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior controls. Uh, It is very high and regression equation forecasts are relatively accurate. It also means that 33.6% of the variation is still unexplained, so the addition of others independent variables could improve the model's fit. The model in this study reached statistical significance. As can be observed from the table, the relationship between acceptance of the three predictors was examined by the multiple regressions. So the result shows the three predictors have been statistically significant. Results show attitude explain the largest portion of the individual acceptance at 55.8%, followed by subjective norms at 46.2%, and also PBC at 10.6%. For the conclusion, the finding of this study found that majority of hoteliers in Klang Valley, Malaysia are aware and understood about the Sharia compliance hotel concept and its attribute. Besides that, their intention to accept the SH concept to be implemented is also influenced by their attitude, subjective norms, and PBC. So the result can be used as a reference to the tourism industry and regulators body that monitoring and controlling the tourism situation in Malaysia. So in order to encourage more hotels in Malaysia to accept the SH concept, the existence of the universal SH standard is important. So the benefit of SH can of them because of the significant demand for Islamic goods and services. It could be a competitive advantage for the tourism industry. For the implications toward body of knowledge, it can extend the usage of the theory in predicting human intent to choose or to perform, and also at the same time, it can reinforce the theory for use in the various study disciplines. For implications toward the practical contributions, it can represent the acceptance of the hoteliers about SAH implementation, and also the result can be shared with the international player to capture the growing demand in Islamic tourism or halal tourism. For recommendations, for future research, there's a need to address how, by applying SCH concept, can boost up the hotel marketing to gain more guests and profit at the same time to strengthen the SCH concept to be applied in the most hotel in Malaysia. As a conclusion, this paper has identified the level of awareness and understanding of hoteliers on SCH concept itself. This paper also managed to identify the attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control has a strong relationship with hoteliers' acceptance of SCH implementation in Malaysia. So with that, thank you.